name is Allison, and I'm a certified fitness trainer and perinatal fitness instructor. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of keeping your pelvic floor healthy and strong. Now, the best exercise for your pelvic floor is doing Kegels. But before we even get into that, let's talk about the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is a larger muscle than many people realize. It's about the size of a sheet of paper, and it connects your pubic bone, your tailbone, and hip to hip bone. So when you do your Kegels, you're lifting up all four corners up, and then you're fully relaxing. And that's how you gain the strength of your pelvic floor. The benefits of having a strong pelvic floor is leading to less chance of incontinence as you get older. And I believe that's something everybody wants. Men also have a pelvic floor, and for them to do Kegels now will also lead to a less chance of them having incontinence as they get older. The pelvic floor is a super important muscle because it also carries the weight of all your organs. And when you're pregnant, it also carries the weight of your baby. So if you really think about it, the pelvic floor takes the weight of that baby, especially as he or she gets bigger and bigger. So it's even more important to make sure that you're doing your Kegels properly during pregnancy and after. Again, doing that will lead to a less chance of incontinence after you have your little one. So how do you know if you're doing a Kegel correctly? So like I mentioned earlier, the pelvic floor is the size of a sheet of paper. And think about lifting up all four corners up and down. The best analogy that I can give is think of a time when you had to urinate really bad and you're holding it. And then once you go, you get to relax the pelvic floor. So that holding of lifting of your pelvic floor is that muscle working on top, and then when you relax, you're bringing it down. So when you're doing your Kegel, think about not tightening your abs, not tightening your glutes. It's all an internal movement up and down. For my pregnant clients, I typically like to do Kegels in either a child's pose or a lying down side pose. And the reason for that is when we're seated like this, it actually puts a little bit more pressure on the pelvic floor. But if you're not pregnant, feel free to do it in a seated position, maybe when you're on a phone call or when you're sitting at a red light. Whenever you think of it, do your Kegels. Think about lifting up and down. And then when you're pregnant, if you're in, let's say, a child's pose position, that allows you to spread your hips open a little bit more so you can get the full effect of a full range of motion Kegel. So the best way to exercise your pelvic floor is to do Kegels in 20 to 30-second increments. Think about lifting that pelvic floor up and down, breathing normal. If you do this a few times a day, there'll be less chance of incontinence later.